Let's try the new music.
Oh,
yeah. Hear it.
let's see. Let's test them all out.
Very upbeat. I like it.
There's a toucan in the background.
Like a Japanese anime.
Yeah, at first I was like, okay. Oh, and then I was like, wait a second. Wait, what is this? Where is this going? That was very unique. Yeah. I don't know. Do you guys like that one? I don't know if I like that one.
I still like the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
think
first
I
one's
kind of
better.
get used to the first one.
Oh, me too. Let's just keep trying something new until like we land on something.
Let's see what our users, our listeners
All
think.
right. By now, we probably have 1.5 listeners. So
I still think there's 3.
Our
Three?
0.5 subscribers.
yeah. One's
that's
like
true,
lost.
free.
Yeah. One person's like is like 90-year-old lady in like Wisconsin. It's like I can't get off of this page. Like
I sent it to Tao, our first podcast,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, listen and give me the feedback. She's like, oh yeah, okay, so cool. So I asked you yesterday, so have you listened to our podcast? She's like, I'm sorry, honey. So
Same with my wife Hannah too. I don't think she's listened to it, which is fine. I kind of don't want her to.
Yeah.
What about you, Jimmy?
I have not asked her to listen to it yet.
yeah.
Yeah. I know she'll listen to it and she'll give some feedback.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. She'll
I
have a
think-
list.
Yeah, because
Oh,
you
dude,
told
that'd
me
be
she's listening to the podcast and everything.
Yeah, she'll be on it. So,
I already know what she's gonna say.
what's that?
She's gonna be like, Dan is vulgar. I'm sorry, Jamie. Be like, Dan is gross and vulgar, and everything he says is not appropriate.
I need to replace him.
Yeah, that guy sucks. All right. So, episode 4, we are the closing crew. My name's Dan. I'm with my
Anton.
friends.
Anton.
Brad.
Yes, episode 4. So, wow, it's been a week since I last saw you guys from episode
It's
3.
been a while. I know.
Yeah.
It's like almost like we're in the same thing. It's weird.
Oh yeah, what a coincidence! You know, it's not like we're just hammering these out.
I just do like minimalist style. I only have black t-shirts.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like Steve Jobs.
More like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you rather be Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg? I mean, they're both autistic, right?
Well, I mean, looking at the Mark Zuckerberg now, actually, I'm pretty impressed with what he's doing.
Well, he's
Yeah.
like cool now.
Yeah, he like I
Is
guess
he?
like with all
He's, like,
this
wearing
money,
chains.
he's trying to be cool, like doing like jujitsu. Like he probably
Right.
can like choke people now, like properly, and then like building those bunkers in Hawaii, like survival bunkers,
Yeah.
wearing like $900,000 watch
Yeah,
from
is it
Patek
really?
Philippe. It's like I mean,
dude.
you don't see those billionaires usually do that. They always wear those Casio for $50 or something.
I think
He's
it
got
depends.
I don't like
And
the
this
whole
chain,
necklace.
the chain is kind of weird.
it's
Like I'm not
weird.
fan of it, but like the watch is pretty legit.
And then his hair is kind of crazy now too. Like he's really let it go.
Yeah.
It's like the natural evolution of like a Bay Area tech nerd, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like
No, but I don't think so. Everyone go through this.
No,
I
but
think
just
so far I
generally,
only saw
obviously,
like Jeff
you know.
Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the
well, even
got-
Jeff
got buff
Bezos.
with
Yeah,
this-
he looks like the Hulk. He's like Orange Hulk.
and with this
Yeah.
interesting girl.
Oh right, yeah, with Girl Hulk.
Yeah. pretty much.
I mean, Steve Jobs didn't do that. He
Nah,
was just
dude.
like till the last day. He was like dedicated. to
Same with Bill Gates.
Yeah,
So,
it's funny though because like Zuck wasn't he bullied a lot?
100%. I'm pretty sure.
When I watched the
totally.
movie, it seemed like he got picked on a lot.
yeah.
But it's like the ultimate like it's like yeah, you used to pick on me.
Pay back.
Now I'm a black belt in
Yeah.
jujitsu.
No.
I have $5 gajillion.
Now try to mess with me.
Yeah, it's like come at me, bro. I've got a gold chain now. You know, it's
Well,
funny.
was it the talk that he wanted to fight Elon Musk?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah, that would be a terrible fight to
Yeah,
watch.
It really would be.
but they would make so much money.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like
Oh.
those guys need more money though.
I know, right?
Yeah.
At this point, everything they do, I feel like, is out of ego. Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it's like,
yeah.
because I mean, how much money do you need where like it kind of loses its meaning?
Mhm.
How much? What's that number for you guys? Just out of curiosity.
Man, I don't know. $1 billion.
You need $1 billion.
Yeah, man. You live in California.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
What about you? You want $1 billion? That's what you need?
I think
Well,
so.
I mean, I would.
I have
I
two
would
girls.
I would. I mean, I would love to experience that lifestyle, but I think just for the living, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say the number.
Dude,
But,
my
like,
my number.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. How about this? Not just like $1 billion. To me, that's like funny money. That doesn't even make sense. I can't even comprehend that.
Right.
So how about this? Annually, what would you need to have to be like at that point, you're just like, okay, I've won. Like money is no issue. Like now I just, well, how much would you need to make every year?
I would say anywhere from 2 to 4 million.
Okay. What about you?
I would say $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me put that into perspective. I don't think Brad understands what money is because he said $1 billion and then he said annually 2 to 4 million. You know
well, after I said $1 billion, it made me feel guilty. So now I'm coming down to something a
I
little bit more
you
realistic.
into being
right?
reasonable.
Yeah.
I shamed you into being a reasonable human being. Right,
Dude,
that's so
living
funny.
in California, man.
You the
$1
equivalent
million
was like
will burn through pretty quickly. Like just like a good,
Yeah.
decent
Well,
lifestyle.
no. You would burn through it quickly if you didn't understand money. You're like, oh, I want a diamond coffee maker.
Again, I have 2 teenage daughters.
That's true. That's true. You make them
that's true.
seem so irresponsible, and they're not.
Well,
You're
one
probably
of
the
them-
most irresponsible one.
No.
You're gonna put her on blast on this on the podcast.
You have to meet my
You hear
oldest
that?
daughter.
You hear that?
I love you,
Daddy's
Marissa.
being so mean.
Oh, maybe we should invite them to podcast too.
Yeah, dude, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be good to get
Yeah.
their perspective. Actually,
Yeah.
you know.
That's true. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think $1 million would be great. You could accomplish anything you needed in $1 million. I think after that, sure, it'd be fun to have more, but like I feel like if you need more than $1 million a year to like live and be happy, maybe the priorities are maybe like you need to spend like $900,000 on like a self-development person or something.
Damn, now you're really shaming me now, dude.
You know? Man,
But,
Brad
I mean-
sucks. This podcast is making me realize Brad sucks.
Well,
I'm just joking.
What
I'm
does
just
it mean, like being happy? Also, like you
Exactly,
know,
yeah.
it's.
Right.
I don't know. Like I mean, I watched also a couple like videos where people like I don't know they're having so much money,
Right.
but then like they kind of lost the purpose and
Yeah.
the feeling still unhappy.
Right.
So I think like the richer you get,
Uh-huh.
like the different type of problems you get.
100%.
Like you know, it's
More
I
money.
think it's always
More problems.
chasing the happiness. I think
Yeah.
there is no end to be
Yeah,
honest.
if your
Yeah.
goal is to like just make $1 billion, but
Yeah.
then I think you got your priorities wrong, and I don't know if you're ever going to be happy.
Yeah. Okay. So, man, I'm like pushing back on Brad hard today. Okay. I think actually having a goal of $1 billion is good because what's that saying? Shoot for the stars
Yeah.
and land on the moon. So it's like you shoot for $1 billion, right? But you're like, oh crap, I messed up all my goals. I only make $1 million a month now or whatever, right? Like, you know. But no, you're right. Like I think like $1 billion. I don't think people understand what $1 billion actually is, though.
Oh, I know. It's
Yeah.
a crazy amount.
It's
But
insane.
a lot of the people that are billionaires, I mean, they didn't set out trying to become billionaires,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They set out with like a product or a
Yeah.
vision of
Yeah, they were caring about like the vision,
Exactly.
the company, the product,
Yeah.
like you know, like or making world better. I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
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 And then you get closer to that, and then it corrupts your soul.
yeah,
And then you start working out and turning orange and buying gold chains and doing jujitsu and
Yeah.
getting bunkers and cheating on your wife and
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And then you get into like the sexual deviancy. You know what I'm saying?
And then you buy islands and
Yeah, it's-
bring people in the container there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Like having too much money, I feel it's like it's terrible.
Yeah,
It's terrible. Like everything you need to be happy, you don't need that much money.
right.
Yeah. So
And kind of bringing that back to real estate, one thing I've always felt was lame about our industry is that so many agents focus on the gross commission, like how much you're making each year.
right.
And I think I've told you guys, like starting off, like I think it's more important to just focus on like how many deals you want to get in a year, right?
Mhm.
Instead of focusing on that monetary goal. I think
Yeah.
that clouds your judgment a little bit. It can.
Mhm.
So
100%. I think I'm a huge fan of like believing in the process, right? And then if you focus on the process and doing the right things every day, then whatever comes from that is kind of like what you deserve or earn. Right? Because like, wouldn't say that.
I don't know.
You're the sports guy here, so
I can't remember.
yeah. But anyways, all right, guys, today's topic. I totally forgot what the topic was. What's the topic? Was it money about basis?
Yeah.
Was it?
It's about being a
Zuckerberg?
good buyer.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. So I think a lot of people think, okay, what am I looking for in a good buyer's agent? And there's videos out there. It's like, well, you need a buyer's agent that is understands the market, that has a lot of experience, and has a good personality that drives with you, right? But let's flip the script, right? What do we look for in good buyers? What kind of traits do we see in our buyers that helps them become successful, right? Let's take that approach.
Okay.
See.
I like that.
Hopefully it won't be too like derogatory and too vulgar. But that's up to Brad. Yeah. So, Brad, let's start with you. Who is your perfect buyer? Or okay, I'm sorry, not perfect buyer. What type of buyer? What traits do you see in your buyer clients that help them to be successful in this competitive Bay Area market?
Well, I mean, I look at the initial kind of buyer consultation, right? Like when I first meet a new buyer and just getting to know them and talking to them, I think the biggest piece of advice I have for them is that once you hire an agent, you just have to trust your agent in terms of being the expert, right? Because I think the most challenging buyers that we deal with are the ones that have a million people in their ear giving them advice that, have maybe like a cousin or their mom that has sold and bought like 2 or 3 homes.
Yeah.
Versus us that have sold dozens, hundreds of homes.
Yeah.
You go to an agent, much like when you're, hiring a financial advisor. You go to them for their sound knowledge and advice, right? And if you're not going to listen to them, or if you're not going to take that advice, then I think that's not a good fit for anyone.
Yeah.
You could be the best agent in the world, but if your client is listening to their friends or their coworkers about their experiences, I mean, it's okay to listen and hear those things out, but to then take what they've experienced and then apply it to your situation and not take the advice of the person that you basically hired, I think that's the worst.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That does make you a trash buyer. If you don't listen to your agent, because then what's the point?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And same thing on the selling side too, right? Like, we've sold a lot of homes versus maybe you've sold like 1 or 2 yourself or whatever. But I think you're hiring us because obviously we know what we're doing. And so you should take our advice and maybe tune out some of the other noise that's in your ear.
Right. Yep. What about you, Anton? What traits?
For me, I would say trust for sure. And then as Brad mentioned, that they trust you, and then also I would say maybe their own vision, that they're not like over the place. Like like they kind of know what they want if they can provide like clear instructions.
Yeah.
Like,
can I push back on that a little bit? I'm like Mr. Pushback today.
Okay.
But I agree with you. I think like having a good, clear idea and vision is very important. But I will say, a lot of buyers, they don't know how to get there. Yeah. So I do, like, for those people, I spend a lot of time in the beginning helping them find their vision. And essentially all they need usually is just like probing questions. It's like, oh, I want a pool. And then I think a lot of agents will just be like, okay, I'm looking for a house for a pool. But then, it's always like, well, why do you want the pool? What kind of pool do you want? And then you keep asking, and then they go, actually, I don't want a pool. Like, actually, what I truly wanted was to get this feeling. No, seriously, There have been many, many times where like people, they come to me with this laundry list of like stuff, and then it's like 80% of it's bullshit. Right. And it always, like, I've noticed it always goes back to they're chasing this feeling or they're chasing this image in their head, and that's associated to the feeling. So for instance, like if they want a pool, like there have been a few times where it's like actually in their mind they envision like a place where everybody can hang out, friends and family can have parties and stuff like that. And the pool isn't what does that.
Yeah.
Right. It's more like the location and the space or whatever it is, you know? So I'm sorry, but I agree.
No,
the
but
vision
I
is
agree.
important.
But I mean, at least if they can provide like, I don't know, four bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, then, you know, and then like at least the areas where they're focused, and then like, you know, you can provide them like at least like the list of the properties, like your suggestion, and then, you know, they go through it, and then they pick like, okay, this and this good, they send it back to you, and you kind of get the feeling like what they're looking for. Yeah. Versus like jumping. Yeah,
that's the worst.
Back and forth.
Because it's like anytime you send them like a house, right? And then they go back and be like, oh, what about this house? And it's like, this is a 4-plex in Mexico. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, but look at the price.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that kind of leads into one of the things that I feel is very important is I need to understand my buyer's thought process.
Yeah.
And I think the most of all the successful buyers that I've had, it's you know, eventually like I help them get there, but they need to understand their whys. They need to understand their thought process. Because a lot of the times, like the ones that don't, they just keep going in circles. Kind of going back to like that funny little example.
I mean, I actually have like one example. So one guy was looking for a condo. So I went there to
a condom.
A condo.
I'm like, that's a different business. That's way off.
In Thailand,
Or like a single family house or a condom in Thailand.
So he was looking for a condo, and I think like we went together, like, you know, to take a look at that, and then he was interested in a couple of them, but like I would say like 2 hours later, he already sending me like other listings, like, oh yeah, well, what about this? What about this? And you know, like I guess he didn't want to commit to spend so much money on something, even he liked it. He always want to get like the best deal ever, and it kind of like never happened.
The deal, everybody's looking
and
for
then
the worst.
I spent good amount of time like texting and showing, and then but he never purchased anything, you know. So that's kind of like, you know, all over the place.
But for everyone out there, everyone is always looking for a deal. That is
Exactly.
I've heard that so many times. What are you looking for? A deal.
Yeah. Give me a deal.
I don't know who Deal is, but man.
Yeah.
My mindset when it comes to real estate and buying is like, I'm willing to overpay now because I don't want to have to catch up to the market.
Mm-hmm. But you're not overpaying though.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I'm not, but like from other people's eyes that think that, you know, they could be overpaying.
Right.
It's like,
because let's really establish, right? Because I hear that thrown around a lot. Like a lot of clients say, I don't want to overpay. I don't want to overpay. And it's like, whatever. Okay. If you're the only offer for that home, you could overpay.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're competing against other offers in this very competitive market and you win, right? You didn't overpay. You actually paid what it's worth because the demand is high.
Yeah.
So I really like my clients to understand that mindset.
Right.
Because just using that word already, like they're kind of already establishing, oh, okay, like I'm acquiring this asset that's not worth what it is, but it is.
Yeah, exactly. And also if they plan to live there 5 to 10 years, I mean,
exactly,
the property can appreciate, and then I mean, eventually it's a win-win for sure.
I think that's one of the biggest challenges of living in the Bay Area is that, you know, the majority of our buyer clients are in tech. Yeah. So they are looking at the stock market every day, right? Yeah. And so when they look at that every day, they also look at their Zestimate, every day, right? And so they look at real estate like a daily kind of investment, whereas it really should be looked at from a 3, 5, 7, 10 year kind of long-term investment,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because the other thing too that a lot of buyers fail to recognize is opportunity cost.
Yeah.
So a lot of people say, I don't want to quote unquote overpay. For the podcast listeners, I'm doing a heavy double finger quotation marks. Like for people that don't want to overpay, they go, okay. But by waiting, they're forcing themselves to quote unquote overpay because they're going to be, whatever that house, gets bought for, that's the new comp. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, Yes. Yeah. I'm fully on board with everything you guys said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else that you guys want? Do you guys observe? Yeah. So I mean, just once again, like just the thought process, right? Like they need to understand the why.
Yeah.
Because like, once again, like I think a lot of people will throw out, like, I think it's important for a good agent, even if you guys, the listening people, right? If they don't use us, right? If you guys are looking for an agent, find somebody that does go deeper with the questions, because if they just take everything you say at face value, they're not really doing you a service, because that's where the golden nuggets are.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, if, for instance, if a client, we talk about the kind of homes that they want, and then they send me like a home out of the blue, then I'm always like, oh, where did this come from? Right. And because I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to just dismiss it and be like, what the dumbass? Yeah. Like, what are you talking about here? Like, you're not shopping for condoms in Thailand? What's going on? Right. But it's really important to follow where that came from to identify what their true needs and wants are.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people that purchase without clarifying those are the people that get like wet feet when they're in escrow.
Yeah.
Or after they get their offer accepted. I have a horror story for you guys.
All right.
So this is early in my career. I'd probably say this is during like the first year where like my business took off, and I was just in a rhythm, right? I was getting too comfortable, just closing deals. And I, in a competitive market, I took a really wonderful family that I'd been working with for a little while, and got them a house that they didn't think they could get, right? And I remember calling them. I was with another client too. I think we were in like Oakland or something, and I called them. I was like, "Excuse me, 1 second. I just gotta, take this call real quick." I called them like, "Hey, guys, you got the home. Congratulations, right?" And she was like, on the phone, she was like, "Oh my God." "Oh my God, what?" And I was like, yeah. She's like crying and stuff.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I was like, "Wait, hold on." Literally, I was like, "Wait, are you happy or sad? Because I can't tell anymore."
Man.
And she was like, "I just didn't think we were going to get it. But like, I don't know if we want that house."
Oh, that's
I was
when my
like,
heart sinks.
What the hell are we talking about here? Because we've been looking at homes like that, and then like it was my fault.
Yeah.
Because instead of just accepting it, right? Like I should have figured out like, wait, hold on. They just like the idea, I think, of these like big, massive like mansions and stuff. But at the end of the day, obviously, it's not what she wanted.
She wanted a 1-bedroom condo.
What's that?
She wanted a 1-bedroom condo.
Yeah, dude. It's really crazy.
In Thailand.
Yeah, and what's really a shame is like, you guys know my personality. Like I didn't hold it against them, but it put me in a very shitty spot because now, I have to talk with this other agent, right? That I've built really good rapport with, and he's an established agent. You guys know who it is. I don't want to like put it out there, but we got through it, and there was no legal action involved. The EMD and all that stuff, like it was fine, right? Obviously they were pissed, but was able to get the best outcome for my buyer.
Did they eventually buy?
So this is the part. I think they felt so much shame, right? Because I kept following up with them, and like the wife like wouldn't talk to me anymore.
Oh man.
And it wasn't like, I wish she would have, because I didn't hold it against her. And I don't think I made her feel that way either. But I think like the husband was saying that, like, she just felt like so bad, because I mean, she wouldn't stop crying. It was like really bad, Yeah. And I reached out to them like every now and then, like, and I think eventually they probably did buy a house, but yeah, that was a huge, that's why I'm so into Wise now.
Yeah.
That was where I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately for me, I think I've dealt with that probably half a dozen times in my career now, and every story is different.
Yeah. Half a dozen, that's not bad for being in the business for 4,000 years,
Yeah, thanks.
That's true.
It's like 0.00001% of,
And I always tell my new clients, I bring up those stories of clients having regret and what I've learned from that, so that they don't make that same mistake as well too. So, unfortunately, it's just going to happen, I think, in everyone's career. you can do all you can, but at the end of the day, it's up to the buyer, if they want to move forward or not. And I think one of the things I've definitely learned from all that is because the Bay Area moves so fast.
Yeah.
Basically here, you get your home on the market, do a weekend of open houses, and then you take offers the next week, right?
Right.
Sometimes even faster than that.
Yeah.
The one consistent thing I've learned from those clients that had regret is they didn't go through the house fast or slow enough. They went to an open house and then they made the offer.
Right.
Now,
is it because they were competing a lot? There was no rhythm, right?
Exactly. They were seeing 5, 10 open houses a weekend. And then if we had a chance, we'd try to go see it, but sometimes we weren't able to together.
Yeah.
But now I insist on my clients going to see the house at least twice, once at the open house or with me, and then the second time again right before they make an offer.
Yeah.
So they don't have that regret.
Yeah, I agree.
But
that makes sense. Yeah.
It's like a balance. I used to be the guy that was like, so I always point out everything wrong with the house. Yeah. And my mentality is like, you're going to find reasons to love the house. So my job is to really objectively point out the things that could be an issue and like how they can affect you in the future. Yeah. Right. But I think I have to be careful because sometimes like, I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? But are you sure?
Right.
Because are you sure? And it's like too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I think they appreciate that though, because I've done the same thing, because you get to know them and you get to know what they like and dislike. And so, I think that's what makes you a good agent.
It depends on their personality too, because I know some people like, getting to know them, like, some people just don't tell you what they're actually thinking.
Yeah.
And I have to like draw it out sometimes. It's like, no. Like I saw that thing that your cheek was quivering, and then you have a tell. You like licked your canine tooth and then touched your forehead, and then tickled your ear. That means that there's something wrong. Right. And then going back to finding out the whys, and really truly understanding like what they need. So,
100%. Because actually it happened to me too.
Yeah. Like as a buyer or as an agent?
No, as a buyer. That like also we wrote an offer. And then, we've been looking for, not for a long time, but like this guy wanted to do an investment. And we found one property in East Palo Alto. And it was like also like kind of a little bit of downtime. Remember, I think it was 2022, November. So, and I got his offer accepted actually almost 100K under.
Nice.
Wow.
So like, and I'm like calling him like, oh man, like, also saying like, we got accepted. And he's like, okay.
Oh, gosh,
and I'm like, okay, so tomorrow, you have to wire like initial deposit and everything. Like, I'll send you the instructions, everything. And then next morning, like completely like dead. Like not responding and everything. I'm like, are you okay? Like, do you need to tell me something? Because like, otherwise gonna be legal consequences. Like if you don't wire within 24 hours,
right?
Like you need to let me know like what is going on. So I was also like freaking out, like because like, and eventually he started talking to me. Like I think I talked to him like for a long, like probably 1 or 2 hours on the phone. And like he was, I guess because it was first time, like I guess investment for him, he just get a cold feet. And like, and I was even telling him like, okay, how about like we jump together on this project, even like like we do this together.
Oh,
like,
whoa.
But it's still like I couldn't convince him. Like so, I'm like, okay, just how about like I ask for 1 more day extension for you, and then you sleep over and let me know. And then so I talked to the selling agent. And thanks God she was nice, actually, to be honest.
That's good.
And then
that's great.
And then I told her too, like, okay, so you're gonna sleep over, and then I'll let you know by tomorrow. And then the next day he's like, so like and I told her like, and thanks God, like, like nothing happened. So like she was nice enough that they just kind of cancel the contract and that's it. Yeah, but you're right. Like with Wise, maybe I should triple check. Like that in that case, like like that's what we're doing.
That's why listing agents, when we have a listing, we're a little nervous until the deposit is in.
Yeah,
right.
I know. Yeah,
that's the biggest hurdle, I think, after an offer is accepted.
I remember. Yeah. Brett is always like, I remember when I started, he's like, don't text anything in the Slack to the team. Like once the initial deposit comes in, then let them know. Like very
you don't want to let anybody down.
And I'm like first like, okay, that's good. That makes sense. Now it makes sense.
One thing though, just like a tidbit. I've heard this before where people say like, oh, if we don't put in the EMD though, like buyers, I think a lot of buyers think that if they don't, okay, sorry, let me just put some context out there for the listeners. Once you get your offer accepted, then you usually have, in this area, it's usually about 1 business day to put in an EMD, which is 3% of the purchase price. And that is not an additional fee, but it's part of the escrow, right?
Yeah.
It goes towards it goes towards your down payment, but it's held in escrow, kind of like it's held hostage, right? And I think maybe it's misinformation on the internet, because I've seen it like in Reddit and stuff too, where people go, oh, just don't put in your EMD.
Yeah.
But the issue with that is now you're open to beyond liquidated damages, right? If there was legal action to be involved. Once again, this is not legal advice though.
Yeah.
I am not a lawyer, and I'm just a regular guy just spitting nonsense. But by not putting your deposit in, it actually opens you up to more legal liability. So even if you do not want the home, I think the advice is to put in the EMD. Is that correct? I've heard both arguments. So I think there's like different avenues for each, but it'd be interesting to kind of hear your guys' thoughts on that.
I honestly don't know. What I tell my clients though is EMD, regardless if the seller signs your offer, it's a binding contract, right? Like it's gonna go to litigation if you don't, if you back out without cause. If you don't have any contingencies, which is another story. But I think that's a common misconception out there, that the contract's not ratified until the money's in escrow. Right. It's ratified once the contract's
offer's
signed,
accepted. Yeah, exactly. So don't think you can get out of it just by not.
Yeah.
That's like the same mentality as like, oh shoot, like I just got shot in the leg, but if I don't look at it, it didn't happen.
I think that's why people go dark the next day.
Yeah, they're just hiding.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, if I just
under the blanket, probably.
Your client was probably like, why is he still calling me?
Did he eventually buy?
No. I mean, not right now. I mean, I'm still in contact with him, but actually, I would say maybe a year later, he's like, we both riding motorcycles, so we went to this gentleman ride. Remember, dressed up with a nice suit. So he was there too. Nice. And I mean, I know him for a long time, and then he's like, "Oh man, I'm actually like really regretting I didn't get this home because now is actually, even without fixing it, like I check and it's already like appreciated like 200K. And it was like I think a year and a half. I'm like, yeah, I told you. I'm like, I was telling you. I'm your friend. Like, why I wanted the best for you, that's what I told you. He's like, okay. He's like, next time I'll trust you. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And then that's the opportunity cost, right? Now he's going to compete and prices are going to be way higher. One thing that's a given.
You got to tell him there's a 1-bedroom condom in Thailand.
Yeah. You want it? For 50 cents is the going rate. But tomorrow it might be 75 cents and there might be usage on it. But one thing for buyers too, is that I completely forgot what I was going to say. What was I going to say?
You're talking about buyers.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. So for buyers, going back to, what you were just saying, like your friend is like, regretting it, right?
Yeah.
We cannot predict the future. We don't know if a home is going to appreciate, at least in the timeline, in a given timeline. Mm-hmm. But if people are worried about like, oh my God, I'm going to lose value, on a home, the longer the timeline is, the more certain it becomes where it's going to be worth much more. It's going to appreciate, right? Yeah, exactly. Within 6 months, a year, who knows? Anything could happen. But if you are planning, 10 years, it's a given. You're fine. Like 10 years plus,
100%.
Yeah. And in general, too, a real estate life cycle, like a appreciation life cycle, is about 7 years in general. Obviously, there's outlier years and all these things like the pandemic and all that stuff. But even then, it's like 5 to 7 years. And there's a reset, like a correction, a small correction, and then it goes back again. So as long as people are thinking longer term, they're okay.
100%.
Unless they lose their jobs or get sued or something, and then their whole life's ripped apart, and that's the worst decision you could ever make. But aside from that, you're okay.
Yeah. And especially in the Bay Area, I would say that's.
For sure.
For the single family homes, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're pretty good on that, right?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about it?
Good.
Yeah. Anything else that you'd like to tell the buyers out there so that they're not trash buyers?
No, just when you hire an agent, trust your agent.
Yeah. Trust Brad.
Yeah.
Do not question anything Brad
Plenty
tells
of
you.
great agents out there. So.
Yeah. Well, there's only one. It's Brad. And do not question anything he says. Otherwise, you're a trash buyer and a trash person.
No.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Peace. This song.
Japanese anime.
Yeah. The birds and everything. I don't know.